Well, hello everybody, this is DearMamaSal, and it is Thursday, 12 degrees here in southern British Columbia, which would make it around 55 in northern Washington state. It's a wet day today. not torrential rain wet, just drizzly wet. And I'm not wearing my raincoat. Never mind. What can I say? Well, maybe that's because today's word, in terms of improving our positivity, is adventurous. One of the things positive people are is adventurous. They venture out and do things. And it's funny because it works both ways. If you think about it, I am quite certain if you spoke to Leslie or Paul or any of our listeners who had been pretty housebound, that they will tell you that the more adventurous they are, the more adventurous they want to be. You know, it's sort of like you start off not wanting to leave the house for fear of whatever. Doesn't really matter what the fear is. But once you've done a little bit, you think, wow, I think I could do a little bit more now. And so it goes on. Now, the opposite is also true. And what we do is we say, oh, I can't be bothered to go and do this. And so we don't. And then we lose our self-esteem and our confidence. And so the reason that I wanted to talk about the word adventurous is because that's what most people who are happy people are. They're not scared to try new things. They know they're not going to enjoy everything. They're not scared to try new foods, not scared to venture out of their comfort zone. Let's put it that way. And that makes you adventurous. So I'm not suggesting that you take risks. That's a whole different story. You know, calculated risks is a whole different story. But be a little bit adventurous. You know, have a little plan. It's the summer. Think about somewhere where you'd really like to go visit. But you can give yourself 1,001 reasons why you haven't got the time, the money, whatever, And it may just be the local park or a park you've never visited and you just would like to go and have a look at it. I think we are very bad tourists in our own town. Very bad tourists in our own town. And so what I would really recommend is that you have a look at that this day and say, I'm going to plan to go do something adventurous. Now, you don't have to do it today or this weekend, but start planning it now. I think what happens to us, especially as we get older, is we get more and more set in our ways. And as we do, of course, that makes life more sedentary for us. You know, we do less and less, and we sit around more and more. And so if you think about the things that you were able to pack into a day in your 20s, I can remember those days. You know, I look at it now and go, how did I ever have the energy to do all of that? You know, I'd work a full day and come home, you know, and then go out and party until the early hours of the morning and then come back and still be up at a reasonable hour. How did I do that? Well, there was high motivation, obviously. But I was an adventurous soul. So I went and visited countries and places and things. And I've never been a great tourist, I must admit. I think some people are natural-born tourists. I'm not. I really am quite happy going somewhere and staying put to a certain degree. So I think I noticed that most of all with my brother, who is 3 years older than I am, and quite honestly, he's an adventurous type, and still is at 70. All right, he still wants to pack in as much as he can in a day, and good for him. And that's why he's as youthful as he is. I was reading on his Facebook page yesterday that he went and played tennis at the local club. And you know, the clubs are pretty snotty about who plays tennis with the pros, for example, or whatever. And he just did the right thing. You know, he went and played on a lower court. When I say a lower court, you know, it's just like, you know, with the people of his age, and played the game that they're playing. But the only thing was, he played it well. And the next thing he knew, he was called up, and they said that obviously he was way beyond that skill level, and they were going to set up some proper games for him. Now, proper games meaning some league type games for him. So that'll make him really happy, and I am sure he will have a great time doing that. So he's a very adventurous sort. So could I do with a bit more adventure in my life? Yes. I guess I could. Now, I know that what's happening to me at the moment is I'm beginning to feel a little bit of a backlash on all that's happened this month. I have to keep remembering that it's been a very roller coaster month for me, and as you know, I'm meant to go and visit a friend of mine who is dying, and they live on Vancouver Island, which would be another road trip for me. And I feel conflicted is the word, because I actually feel like I need to stay home this weekend and look after me. And I'm trying to work out whether I'm just being an absolute wuss or whether that is actually true. And I find it interesting that for some reason I can't find the telephone number I need either, which is weird. And then you've got to ask yourself, what would you do if he died in the meantime? So, so this has absolutely nothing to do with adventure. It has everything to do with my mental health at this point. And so I know that Yvonne's going to be away this weekend. She's going to go and visit her father. So, I don't know. The sooner I make a decision, the sooner I can be at peace. But I didn't get a whole lot of rest last week when I was away. I didn't get as much sleep as I would have liked. And I didn't get enough recovery as I would have liked. So I think it's a very strong possibility I'm going to stay home. By the way, for those of you following my adventures in terms of a new puppy, I'm at the moment still in the running for a little dog called Gilly. And Gilly is a Westie, which is what I actually would have liked to have had. That's what I said. He's 4 years old, and his owner died, and so I actually put in a request to adopt him. And it sounds like I'm still in the running, because they sort of interviewed me on the telephone and they said, okay, fine, we're going to send you an adoption form. So, but they won't do anything. They haven't sent it to me yet. And then they won't actually do anything until the weekend, because Gilly has to go to his daddy's funeral or memorial service or whatever tomorrow. So I was really lucky that the day I looked was the day he was there. So I'm a little bit concerned that they kept saying things like, well, you know, he's really good with children and da-da-da-da, which made me think that they've already preconceived that Gilly should go to a family with children. And if that's so, then I can't change that, except be charming and be who I am. If they don't feel that that's right for Gilly, then nothing much I can do. I did have a look at what would it cost me to find a brand new one from a registered breeder. That's a bit scary. That goes anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000, I saw, for a puppy. And quite honestly, I can't justify that. I don't want a Westie that badly. I'd love one, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to spend $3,000 bucks on a dog, because that's just the beginning of the expense. I'd rather go and get one from the pound and give it a good home. So I was thinking that on the way home tonight, actually I'm going to find out what the hours are of the local pound. And I know when I was looking for Bean Bean, I went to the pound every Friday night on my way home to see what they had. And did it for 2 months. Was there every week. I'd pop in and have a look. So I'm not quite sure time they close now, because that would make a difference as to whether I can get there in time. We'll see. If not, I'll go on Saturday. I've got a few other things I need to do on Saturday. Wow. So, adventure. Let's get back to that. Trying to think what I'd like to do. Well, obviously my going down and doing this trip with the trailer was an adventure, but in all adventure there is a possibility of some not perfect situation. For example, you know, I always say that the moment that I hook up the trailer to the Jeep, the adventure begins. I always say that, because you never quite know what's going to go wrong. And you should expect for things to go wrong. You know, it shouldn't be a shock. Oh my God, something went wrong. It should be, there we go. We're having an adventure. Because if you can think of it that way, then actually it doesn't spoil your day. And so whenever I go out with the trailer, it's not that I'm thinking negatively, it's part of the adventure is things will probably go wrong and you will have to make a plan. Now, I'm a make a plan sort of person. I just realized something. I just realized, Mirren, I think I got the joke. I said something yesterday about a guy in an electrified chair, wheelchair. And I just realized that probably sounded like an electric chair, right? That's quite funny. It's not what I meant at all. I've just seen another one, which is why it triggered my mind and made me think of it. A motorized wheelchair. How's that? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Uh-oh. That's the local Catholic church. School is behind yellow tape. Wow. You know what yellow tape means? Crime scene. So, not sure what that's about. Things you see on the way to work, eh? Amazing. So, go have a little adventure today, or at least plan one. Be very interested to hear what you come up with. Because your little, and it doesn't have to be a big thing. The adventure may be as small as I've decided to go out and get a coffee. Or I've decided to go out and eat octopus, calamari, you know what I mean, for a meal. Or I've decided to go out and try poutine. That would be adventurous. So whatever it is that you've decided, let us know. Because as in all things, that's why I love it when you guys give me feedback, because what you're doing is you're inspiring other people. I've always said about life is the problem about life is that not enough people talk about their life in terms of what's normal. And so it has been our experience, and that's why I love the broadcast so much, that when we discuss things, not only does the person talking about it get inspired, but so does everybody else listening. And that's why the broadcasts are such fun, is that we all get sort of inspired to do new things, or we stand in awe of what one person is doing and going, wow, if she can do that, I better do X, Y, and Z. And that's really what motivation is all about, is we aspire to do better. So let us know what your little adventure is going to be, if you've worked it out. And I'm going to just have a good day. I forgot to take a different route to work, remember? Rats. But thank goodness, today, I don't know where they are, but they're not here. The road people. Phew. Or if they are, they're farther down. I clean forgot about that. There's a Hummer in front of me. A black Hummer. They always look so butch, manly. You know what I mean? That's the right word. Macho. Macho is the word I'm looking for. Yeah. Have you noticed? Have you noticed how many small people drive Hummers? I mean, I know Schwarzenegger started it, but when he had one converted for him, he started a whole trend. I don't know if you know that, but he actually got to ride in one and liked it so much he borrowed one and then asked for it to be converted, and he had it all converted and spruced up, and then they realized there was a market for that and people would pay the money, and they did. And now it's quite the status symbol, isn't it? But I still chuckle when I watch people get out of it, because it's amazing how many... Yeah, there's another one. Not so tall people. And you can tell how tall they are by how far they sit up in the seat. Actually, you can tell how tall they are whether their nose goes above the steering wheel. And I cannot look again to my right, because I already looked once and the guy gave me a look. And I'm scared. What can I say? Okay, he's gone straight ahead. But he really was very short. And I think I must have smiled instinctively, but he probably thought I was smiling at him, which I was. Okay, the teachers are still on strike, obviously. Sitting in the rain, bless their cotton socks. Now, how about getting back to work so our children can go back to school? Yeah, I keep thinking, in the real world, yeah, what if every organization had people who went on strike? Do you know what I mean? It's like, imagine if in our business we went on strike for more pay every couple of years. Oh well. I don't know how to say this, but most of us are actually quite pleased just to have a job. I'm very grateful when we get salary increases. Life. Hi everybody, have an adventurous day. And this is Dear Mama Sam, sending you a big virtual hug. Bye bye for now.